Ladies and gentlemen, let us embark on a journey to explore the nature of reality, a journey that beckons us to question everything we've been taught. Imagine, if you will, that the reality we perceive is but a fragment of a grander tapestry. Beneath the surface of our everyday lives, beyond the reach of our senses, lies an immense force, a force that shapes existence itself. This force, understood by only a few, bestows upon them an extraordinary ability. It is an unseen force that transforms desires into tangible forms. While the world chases external success, the true architects of life recognize that the key lies not outside, but within. The ancients spoke of a power so profound it could shape destiny itself. It is not constrained by limitations, nor does it bow to circumstance. It operates through an unseen law, a force connecting the individual mind to the vast, infinite intelligence of the universe. Every great creator, every innovator who has left a mark on history, whether knowingly or not, has tapped into this wellspring of power, and now the path to wielding it lies before you. But to walk it, the mind must first be trained to see beyond the veil, to command the formless and mold it into reality. Mental energy is the medium through which this force operates. Thoughts are not mere wisps of imagination. They are blueprints for reality. What the mind conceives with clarity and faith, the world must reflect. Yet to use this power effectively, there is a process, a science to creation, as precise as the workings of nature itself. The following sections illuminate this hidden mechanism, guiding you step by step toward mastery over the invisible power within. Every structure, every invention, every breakthrough began as an image within the mind. Visualization is not wishful thinking. It is the deliberate act of imprinting upon the universal mind a blueprint of what must be made real. Mastering visualization requires a refined method, one that goes beyond mere imagination and engages all faculties of experience. To maximize effectiveness, visualization should incorporate multiple senses. When manifesting a home, for example, it is not enough to see its shape. One must feel the texture of its walls, hear the echo of footsteps in its halls, inhale the scent of its air, and experience the emotions of being within it. This multi-sensory approach deepens the impression on the subconscious mind, making the envisioned reality more tangible and magnetic. Another powerful technique involves creating physical representations of mental images. Vision boards, for instance, serve as constant reinforcements of an intended reality. By assembling images, words, and objects that reflect the desired outcome, the mind remains anchored to its goal. Writing down a detailed narrative of the desired reality, describing it as if it has already manifested, further strengthens this connection, embedding the vision deeply into consciousness. Beyond clarity, repetition solidifies the image. The subconscious mind must be drenched in the visualized reality, so deeply impressed with its details that it cannot distinguish between what is imagined and what is real. This is why consistent mental rehearsal is vital. Many elite athletes and performers employ this technique, visualizing their success repeatedly until the mind and body align with that outcome effortlessly. The process is not about forcing reality to change, but about aligning with the natural creative principle. Just as a seed does not beg the soil to grow but unfolds into its full potential because the conditions support its nature, so too must the mental image be sown and nourished with unwavering faith. When applied correctly, visualization becomes an instrument of certainty, not mere hope. It is a tool that, when wielded with precision, transforms the unseen into the seen. Thought is not passive. It carries weight, frequency, and a magnetic pull. Every mental impression radiates outward, seeking its equivalent in the physical world. This is the law of attraction in its truest form. What one holds persistently in mind inevitably takes root in reality. Understanding this law is paramount. It is not a question of whether it works, but whether one wields it consciously or allows it to operate unconsciously. Many unknowingly fixate on lack, struggle, and limitation, sending out signals that summon more of the same. The secret is to become the master of thought, to deliberately craft mental impressions that serve the desired outcome, rather than oppose it. Doubt and fear are the great disruptors of this force. They act as countercurrents, pulling energy away from manifestation. A thought held with certainty and infused with emotion possesses unstoppable momentum, but if diluted with fear, it weakens. Faith is not blind belief, it is a knowing, a deep-rooted certainty that what is envisioned must materialize. This certainty is what separates those who merely wish from those who command their reality. One must guard the mind as a sacred space, allowing entry only to those thoughts that serve creation. Like a garden, the mind must be cultivated with intention. Neglect invites weeds of doubt, but careful tending yields abundance. The external world is nothing more than a mirror of the dominant inner narrative. Control the thought, and the reflection must change. Faith is the unseen force that bridges the gap between thought and reality. It is the invisible hand that sets universal law into motion, the inner assurance that no matter how conditions appear, the unseen forces are already at work. Most misunderstand faith, believing it to be blind hope in the absence of evidence. True faith is the opposite. It is the certainty of outcome despite apparent obstacles. It is the unwavering knowing that once a mental picture is formed with conviction, the universal intelligence must arrange events, people, and opportunities to bring it into form. Faith is not a plea to external forces, but an alignment with the divine operation already within. A mind conditioned to faith experiences a reality few dare to imagine. Scarcity, struggle, and limitation dissolve in the presence of one who fully grasps this law. The universe is infinitely abundant, but its riches flow only to those who accept their rightful claim. Doubt acts as a barrier. Faith removes it entirely. Action must accompany faith, not action driven by desperation or struggle, but by certainty. The one who knows the outcome is assured moves with calm confidence, taking steps not in fear of failure, but in expectation of success. This is the rhythm of creation, the effortless unfolding of reality in accordance with the mind's directive. Words are not merely sounds, they are vibrations that reinforce or dismantle the reality the mind constructs. Every sentence spoken aloud strengthens or weakens the blueprint of creation. If visualization plants the seed of an idea, spoken words act as the water and sunlight that nurture its growth, or if misused, the storm that uproots it before it takes form. Many unknowingly sabotage their manifestations with careless speech. A person may visualize success with great precision, but then dilute that vision by uttering phrases like, "I always struggle," or "I never catch a break." The subconscious mind takes language literally, treating repeated statements as commands rather than passing thoughts. Even seemingly harmless expressions such as, "I'm terrible with money," or "this always happens to me," reinforce undesired outcomes by anchoring them in spoken reality. To harness the true power of words, one must engage in conscious language, speech that aligns with the vision held in the mind. Affirmations are not mere positive thinking. They are declarations that charge the mental image with energy. Instead of saying, "I hope to be successful," which implies uncertainty, one should affirm, "Success flows to me effortlessly." Rather than stating, "I will be wealthy," which places abundance perpetually in the future, affirm, "I am in alignment with wealth now." The present tense imprints reality more effectively than future-based statements, which only delay results. Beyond affirmations, tone and emotion carry immense influence. Speaking with conviction activates the law of creation, while hesitant, doubtful words counteract it. The universe does not respond to empty phrases, but to the energy behind them. A whispered affirmation with certainty holds more power than a loudly spoken declaration filled with doubt. Aligning words with belief solidifies the mental image, ensuring that thought and speech move in unison. Mastery of spoken language is the final key in the cycle of creation. When words, thoughts, and emotions operate in harmony, they create an unshakable force that reality must reflect. Every conversation, every inner dialogue, every verbal expression shapes the world. Speak deliberately, affirm boldly, and witness how the unseen power of words brings visions to life. The universe operates in perfect harmony, following precise cycles and rhythms. The tides rise and fall with the pull of the moon, seasons transition with unwavering consistency, and the smallest seed knows the exact sequence required to become a towering tree. This same principle governs the process of creation in human life. Just as nature never rushes yet achieves everything, manifestation unfolds in accordance with an intrinsic order, one that must be understood and honored. Many attempt to force reality into submission, pushing against the natural flow in desperation for results. However, true creation is not about struggle. It is about alignment. Just as a river carves its path effortlessly by following the contours of the land, the mind must synchronize with the deeper currents of universal law rather than resist them. Manifestation is not about imposing willpower against obstacles, but about entering the rhythm of creation itself, an ebb and flow that moves with the same intelligence that orchestrates the stars. A farmer does not dig up seeds daily to check for growth. The process of germination follows a sequence that cannot be disrupted. The same applies to mental energy. Once an intention is set and nurtured with faith, impatience and doubt must not disrupt its unfolding. Everything in nature follows a gestation period, and so does every thought form before it materializes into the physical. The key is to recognize when to act and when to allow, the balance between effort and surrender. Recognizing the creative principle in action means understanding that everything has its appointed time. Just as winter does not resist the arrival of spring, resistance to the process only delays its fulfillment. Clarity of vision is essential, but so is trust in the unseen mechanisms that bring the vision into form. Those who align with this principle move through life with certainty, knowing that their desires will take shape just as surely as the dawn follows the night. Mastering manifestation is not about control, but about participation in the natural order of creation. Those who learn to move with, rather than against, the universal rhythm, discover that reality does not need to be forced. It responds. The same intelligence that guides the planets also guides human intention. Understanding this is the bridge between wishing and knowing, between effort and effortless manifestation. Assumption is more than belief. It is the complete embodiment of a new reality. While faith trusts that something will happen, and persistence maintains focus despite obstacles, assumption bypasses both by becoming the version of oneself who already possesses the desired outcome. This is not about waiting or hoping, it is an identity shift, a transformation of self-image that alters how reality responds. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is deeply assumed to be true. Those who internalize their success, wealth, or love as already theirs act differently, think differently, and inevitably attract experiences that confirm their self-concept. Instead of seeing abundance as a future event, they move as if it is their present state. Instead of chasing love, they assume they are already deeply loved. When assumption replaces effort, reality conforms effortlessly. Living from the end means aligning thoughts, emotions, and actions with the state of already having. A person who assumes health does not dwell on illness. One who assumes financial prosperity does not entertain lack. Every moment becomes a reflection of the chosen identity. If wealth is the goal, decisions must stem from the mindset of someone who already has it. If confidence is the aim, posture, speech, and behavior must mirror that of a naturally confident individual. The outer world follows the inner identity, not the other way around. Resistance arises when the old self-image conflicts with the new assumption. Doubts, fears, and past conditioning may attempt to reinforce the former identity. This is where discipline is key. Assumption is not about forcing external circumstances, but about refusing to waver from the new state of being. Reality bends to identity, not to fleeting thoughts, not to momentary affirmations, but to a deeply held concept of self. The law of assumption is the highest form of creation because it eliminates the struggle of seeking. Those who embody their desires as present reality no longer grasp at them, they are them. The external world, governed by unseen laws, must eventually catch up. Every act of creation follows a rhythm. Just as nature moves in cycles, spring's renewal, summer's expansion, autumn's harvest, and winter's dormancy, so too does the process of manifestation. Understanding these cycles eliminates frustration and impatience. The unseen forces at work do not rush or panic. They follow a natural order. Those who align with this rhythm gain mastery over their reality, knowing that what is planted must mature before it can be harvested. Manifestation unfolds in phases. First, the seed of desire is sown through thought and imagination. The subconscious mind then nurtures this seed in silence, much like the soil fostering roots beneath the surface. This is where most people falter. They look for immediate signs, and when none appear, they assume failure. But a farmer does not dig up his crops in doubt. He trusts the process, watering the soil even when nothing is visible. The invisible phase is the most crucial. It is the period where unseen forces orchestrate the necessary conditions, moving people, events, and circumstances into alignment. Doubt during this stage disrupts the cycle, uprooting the progress before it can break through the surface. True persistence is not about forcing reality, but about remaining steady in faith, even when the external world has yet to reflect the inner vision. Everything has its appointed time. A fruit picked too soon is bitter. A flower forced open too quickly wilts. The wise understand that rushing the process distorts the outcome. Instead of demanding instant results, they observe the natural flow, recognizing signs of progression even in the smallest shifts. Synchronicities, subtle changes in opportunities, and inner shifts in emotions are all indicators that the cycle is unfolding as it should. Mastering persistence is not about sheer willpower, it is about maintaining harmony with the natural order. Those who succeed are those who do not waver during the gestation period. They hold their vision steady as the tide, unwavering as the seasons. In time, reality must yield, and what was once unseen will stand fully formed before them. Creation is not merely an act of force, but one of deep receptivity. The mind, when cluttered with noise, doubt, and external distractions, cannot clearly receive the signals of the universal intelligence that governs all things. To truly align with this higher intelligence, one must cultivate inner stillness, a space where inspiration, guidance, and insight emerge effortlessly. Stillness is the gateway to the unseen forces that shape reality. Just as a turbulent pond cannot reflect the sky above, a restless mind cannot perceive the subtle whispers of intuition. Meditation, contemplation, and moments of silence allow the mind to settle, clearing the interference that blocks direct communion with the universal mind. This practice is not about emptying the mind, but refining it, turning it into a precise instrument capable of receiving higher impressions. In this space of quiet alignment, thoughts gain greater potency. Rather than scattering energy through mental overactivity, stillness consolidates it, strengthening the magnetic pull of one's desires. Those who master this practice do not chase after solutions. They allow solutions to reveal themselves. Answers come not through struggle, but through a deep knowing that emerges when the mind is receptive. To align with the silent architect of reality, cultivate stillness as a daily practice. Set aside time to detach from external distractions and simply observe your inner world. In this space, the mind and universal intelligence merge, and from this union, the greatest manifestations are born, not through force, but through the effortless flow of inspired action. Mastery over mental energy is not found in occasional moments of clarity, but in a sustained awareness that never wavers. The greatest creators in history did not merely visualize their desires, they lived as if they had already become them. The final step in wielding the invisible power is to embody the certainty that what has been conceived within must appear without. This requires full identification with the creative force. One cannot simply wish, hope, or even believe in a greater reality. One must assume it entirely. The mind must be trained to think from the place of achievement, not towards it. Every thought, every action, every word must align with the reality already claimed within. This is not pretending, it is becoming. Doubt has no place in a mind that has accepted its role as the architect of reality. Fear is the opposite of creation. It is the energy of destruction, scattering what was once focused. The one who commands their life does not allow contradiction to exist within them. If abundance is claimed, lack cannot be entertained. If success is envisioned, failure cannot be spoken into existence. The external world will always mirror the deepest convictions held in mind. To wield the invisible power is to walk a path few dare to tread. It is the path of those who no longer wait for life to happen, but shape it with intention. This is not mysticism or wishful thinking. It is the science of creation, the law that governs all reality. Those who apply it with diligence and precision will see their world transformed. The journey does not end here. Mastery is not a destination, it is a continuous unfolding. Each realization leads to a greater one. Each success builds upon the last. The mind, once trained in this law, becomes an instrument of boundless possibility. There is no limit, no final achievement, only deeper and more profound expressions of power. Now, the choice is yours. Will you continue to allow life to dictate your reality, or will you step into your true nature as its creator? The laws remain unchanged. The power is always present. The only question that remains is how fully you are willing to claim it.